Southern Baptists. They are still losing members. Apparently, they've hit a 50-year low, losing 250,000 members. It's yeah, things aren't looking good for them. Now, if you know these guys, it's not that surprising. One, a lot of religious congregations are losing their members, but it's even less surprising for Southern Baptists because holy are they truly a grotesque organization. Yeah, they're losing members, but it's really funny because on their Lifeway survey, which by the way, Life for those who don't know, Lifeway is it's basically a survey that gets sent to their churches to report how many baptisms are done, how many members they're gaining or losing, and like stuff like that. And every time they point out how they're losing members, they brag about how many more baptisms they've gotten done. So they've had a 2% decline from 2023, and however, more than 250,000 baptisms represent a more than 10% jump over 2023, and the most since 2017. That means nothing. Those people can still leave. Not to mention, your numbers are still going down. That means fucking nothing. And by the way, I got this article from Friendly Atheist. I highly recommend checking him out. He's the main inspiration behind this talk show. Which, by the way, if you're new to this talk show, consider subscribing and hitting the bell. I'm going to be posting a lot. I'll be posting maybe 2 times a week. And I'm going to be improving my craft as time goes on, too, because I've never hosted a talk show. But yeah, Southern Baptist. In case you haven't heard of them, like I said, they are a truly fucking terrible group. How terrible? Well, here are the reasons why people are leaving. And even if you've never heard of them, you can probably guess. One, their members are dying. It's mostly Southern Baptists are mostly old people, and the only people that are joining are parents forcing their kids to participate, and those kids and maybe those parents are bound to also leave. Two, the most common reason, or the second most common reason most people are leaving organized religion in general and their churches in general, LGBTQ hatred. In fact, Southern Baptists are heavily anti-LGBT, and I'm going to show you an interview from their most recent president that really hammers in that fact. They don't support gay marriage, they support conversion therapy, and it's hilarious how often the Southern Baptist compares being LGBT to pedophilia, given SBC's horrible record of child abuse and their terrible implementation of background checks. And like the Catholic Church, they have been constantly fighting against extending the statute of limitations for child abuse cases, and have repeatedly defended those who have abused children in their ranks. And keep in mind, that drop doesn't just apply to people who are dying or who are leaving SBC's churches themselves. It's also churches leaving SBC because of all the reasons I just described, and for the reasons I'm about to go over. One of them being their disdain for women in power. SBC has threatened churches for simply having women in their ranks. They don't allow women to be pastors. They don't allow them to have any position of power in churches. Not to mention, they've pushed out black pastors too. And many churches love their black and female pastors. So they look at what SBC is offering them and says, we don't need you fuckers. So they leave. If you look at their Lifeway surveys, they don't mention any of this. They don't, despite these reasons being the main reasons people are leaving, they're not addressing those at all. Now, they did address the people dying, but they refused to address the main reasons. Again, the anti-LGBT hate, the pushing out of women and black pastors, the multiple sex abuse scandals. In fact, despite all the sex abuse scandals they've been dealing with, only 53% of the churches Lifeway surveyed from them have background checks. If you want to work at a fucking Burger King, you gotta go through background checks. If you have that kind of record, they're not gonna allow you near children. Yet you can become a pastor if you have a hideous sex abuse record. What the fuck? So what kind of, even at minimum, decent parent is going to want to put their kid in a church where any fucking person can join the ranks, because again, no background checks at almost most of these churches. And let's talk about their fucking president, because, well, I mean, not current president, his term is running out, but holy shit. I stumbled upon this interview with Bart Barber, that's his name. He went on 60 Minutes with Anderson Cooper. It really shows you, this guy really shows you where this organization's mind is at. He told Anderson Cooper, who is, again, an openly gay journalist, that he could not be a good Christian and Southern Baptist if he's gay. Oh, and he gets so much worse. Get ready for this shit. They also attack trans people, and he also endorses conversion therapy, which is just fucking torture. It doesn't work, and it's repeatedly not worked. He denounces gay marriage, which, I mean, yeah, that isn't surprising. And while thankfully he doesn't believe in the 2020 election fraud conspiracy, he admits he voted for Trump in 2020. Which, I mean, voting for Trump whatsoever should be like a sign you're a piece of shit. He supports the combination of church and state, and believes that 10-year-olds should be forced to carry their pregnancies to term. Which, by the way, if you even slightly agree with that sentiment, you're just a fucking pedophile. And sees child as better than killing someone. Yeah, this guy is a lot, and he was the most recent president for this group. No wonder people are leaving this fucking group. And they have no one to blame but themselves for this drop in fucking attendance. In fact, as recently as 2024, I just discovered this, they sent a letter to Trump asking them to prioritize restricting abortion and rolling back LGBTQ rights. This is their priority. Not serving the community. No. Straight up taking away the rights of people who are different than them. We've got some good news for once. So, you probably heard, there was a Arizona public school that was trying to build a Mormon seminary on campus, which, you know, you're not allowed to do. Now, the point of this was to, kids usually around this time begin questioning their faith. So, they're basically trying to have these seminaries on campus to try to bring the kids back in and re-indoctrinate them, which is, one, fucked up, and two, not something a public school should be doing. So thankfully, due to pushback and legal threats, they are not building it. And the Mormon Church also got the shit scared out of them and decided to cancel it too. So, yeah, this was pretty... Yeah, as it says, this was pretty blatantly unconstitutional. Like, this is not something you can do. And hilariously, the school wasn't prepared for the blowback they were going to get from it, which you're allowing the... What were you expecting? Again, the whole point of this was, basically, Mormons have to attend religious classes before or after the school day. But due to something called release time, which is something LifeWise Academy's been taking advantage of, which I'm going to be discussing them in an upcoming video. It's basically to keep them from questioning their faith and... Oh shit, fucking my mouse. It's basically to keep them going in the faith and keeping them in service. Now, they wanted to make this easier to both indoctrinate their members and to bring in new ones, which the Mormon Church, or as they call themselves, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, has been trying to appeal to new members. Like, I think they changed their URL to Come On to Christ. They refer to themselves way more as the Church of Jesus Christ to make people think, oh, it's a Christian church. And they don't even call themselves Mormons anymore. This is designed to make it far easier to do that. Their members could go to it on campus, and they could try to rope people in. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's really good that this got shut down, because this could have not gone well. And it would have been expensive, too. Like, $100 per month with an additional $500 per month to cover utilities. And taxpayers would have had to pay for this. This wouldn't be going out of the LDS. The community would have had to pay for this tax-free religious organization to have a building on campus to indoctrinate children. So thank fuck this was taken down. And this is just one of many ways churches are trying to force themselves onto public school and public college campuses. So, if you see anything like this happening in your community, get the fuck involved. Because they can be stopped. With enough blowback, with enough protesting, we can fight them. It's possible. This is just one of many examples of these types of groups being taken down. Sadly, religious nationalists are far more motivated to fight against church of state separation than most secular people are at maintaining it. So we need to fight them from doing this shit. And under Trump, it's gonna be a lot harder, but it can be done. So let's fucking do it. Hartford City, what the f*** are you doing? So, Easter weekend, Hartford at their city hall flew a Christian flag at their government building. And, yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Only 2 members voted no. It was a 6-2 vote. And, you gotta see some of the arguments for it. One of the arguments by Councilman Hernandez said, "I'm not going to get into the argument of separation of church and state." So you just don't give a shit about the Constitution? Like, holy shit, they just straight up said they don't give a fuck what the Constitution says. It literally says in the First Amendment you can't establish an official religion. This is doing that. They are flying a Christian flag at a government building saying they want to recognize Christianity. You can't do that. That is endorsing a religion. This city needs Christ, Garcia said. We shouldn't separate church and state. The state needs church. They just don't fucking care. So they did this very blatant church and state separation violation. So the 2 dissenting voters pointed 2 things out on why they didn't support it. One, it violates church and state separation. It's a huge middle finger to everyone in that community who isn't Christian. And 2, the most annoying part for the government, they turned that flagpole into a public forum, which is going to cause a lot of shit to happen. And it already has. As you can see here, someone at the Church of Satanology is now trying to get a satanic flag put up there, which I fully support because the government made that flag a public forum now. What's now happening is exactly what those dissenting votes said would happen. It's pushback. The fact that there's flags up, Christian flags or religious flags at City Hall in public space is uncomfortable to a lot of us. Yeah, it is. It's really discomforting to see the government endorsing a specific religion. It's fucked up. Instead of uniting of city, there are a lot of misspellings in this article. I think we should fly the flag of Satanology. I don't think we should fly the Christian flag. I don't think we should fly an expressly Muslim or Jewish flag. I think we should keep our business secular. But now here we are in this pitch. Exactly. That is the problem with allowing religion at government buildings. You have to allow everybody. And if you don't allow everybody, you are directly threatening the freedom and rights of other people. This is why you don't do this shit. And until these governments figure this out, Satanists are going to keep showing up as they should. Now, they're not going to stop because the main reason that they're doing all this is because they're trying to reassert their dominance. Christians are leaving Christianity. Not to mention, more diverse groups of people are coming to America. Because of that, there are now less Christians. That has caused Christian nationalists to freak the fuck out. So because of that, for decades, they've been trying to reassert their dominance. They've been putting 10 Commandment statues up. They've been creating state resolutions to recognize the kingdom of Christ. This is all just to reassert their power and dominance. We've never been a Christian nation. The only reason they've claimed that is because most people were Christian, so they were able to get away with oppressing other people. They're trying to take back power that they are losing. They don't want to accept everyone. So, we have to keep fighting. Get more involved with your local politics. If your government tries to pull this shit, protest, and if they do eventually pull through with it and put a Christian flag up, demand your religion gets representation too. That includes Satanists, that includes Muslims, that includes every other religious group of people. Do not put religious shit onto government property. But if your government is going to do that, then the time is right to do so. You, even if your religion has just 2 people, you deserve just as much representation in your government as the Christians have.